Today was set for arraignment, so but since we had filed a motion to quash, according to procedure, we asked that the arraignment be set. The judge granted it, and so directed the prosecution to comment on our motion to quash within 10 days from today. And there's a tentative setting on March 11, which is a Thursday. It's tentative because it depends on what the court will do. If the court grants the motion, then that's it. If the court denies the motion, then the arraignment will proceed on March 11.
Sir, can you walk us through the grounds that you based in the motion to quash?
The grounds that are basically that the court doesn't have jurisdiction over the offense charge, and that the facts stated in the offense, in the information, do not state an offense. The first is that it's a legal ground. Jurisdiction, we're saying that the information fails to satisfy the venue allegations, that the date of first publication as well as the addresses of the parties. The information does not state that, and that's required under the law. The second one is the facts stated do not charge an offense, because the article is not defamatory. It is a report from a disciplinary complaint that was filed in the school, the College of St. by Mr. Talabong. And as far as Maria is concerned, there is no allegation whatsoever of her participation in the article. The only reference to her is that she was the executive editor at the time, and we're saying that doesn't suffice at all in relation to the information.
Sir, the fact that the report was based on a report, an investigation by the school, how significant do you think is that aspect?
Well, under the law, it would fall under fair comment, right? It would fall under privilege as well, because if it is simply a factual report with no commentary on the part of the reporter or the journalist, then it should fall under that, and that's our contention. Also, that the statements that the prosecution attributed to Mr. Talabong in the information are not defamatory, because they actually favor the complainant rather than injure the complainant. If you read the report, the statements attributed to Mr. Talabong as defamatory, they actually favor the complainant rather than injure him. So those are the arguments.
Lastly, sir, was the complainant present?
Yeah, he was.
Was he represented by counsel?
I don't think so. Probably he's relying on the public prosecutor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ria?
You might ramble first.
All right,
Let's
go
ramble
Rambo. Rambo, is this your first cyber libel case?
This is my second cyber libel case.
Our second together.
Your second? But the first time you're supposed to be arraigned.
The first was already dismissed at the prosecution level. It was filed by the LG official, which is also a questionable complaint, and this is the second.
Yeah, any personal thoughts on having this? I mean, you've had cyber libel cases. I mean, you've graduated from college barely a few years ago. How does that make you feel as a journalist versus
I entered this profession really just to tell stories, to tell the truth, to report on what's happening to people. I'm really inspired by brave journalists, brave Filipinos who stand by what they believe in and advocacies. I've only been a journalist for 3 years, but I've already faced 2 cyber libel complaints. That's too much. You have to decriminalize libel because journalists are so prosecuted in the Philippines, and I recognize that I am in a privileged position. Other journalists have it worse, and I recognize that these other journalists are much more oppressed compared to me, so we do have to reconsider this.
So what do you feel about Maria Ressa's nomination for the Philippines?
I'm actually not surprised because I get so much courage from Maria Ressa. It's not just me. It's not just me that will tell you this. It's all reporters, all people she has spoken with. She gives us so much courage to fight for, of course, ultimately, peace.
All right, thanks, Rambo.
Yes.
Lastly, Maria, would like to comment on the nomination?
Oh my lord. it's hard to think about it because there's so much for journalists to do in the Philippines, right? I want to remind you of Frenchie Cumpio, who's been in jail since February last year, of IC Salem, who was picked up in December and is also still in jail. We're lucky. And also how crazy that RAMBO, a journalist of 3 years, has already faced 2 libel cases, right? Both of them with me. Thank you, RAMBO. I'm very proud of the work he's done. I think the nomination is not even so much as about what we do, because all we are doing is our jobs, but more where the government has gone, that it has made it so difficult to do our jobs, that it has harassed, intimidated. It's a war of attrition. I mean, I spent 4 hours in court yesterday, right? This is the second day tomorrow. We have another hearing. So this week, I've spent 5 days preparing for these legal cases. It doesn't matter, because we're going to continue doing our jobs, just as I know you are. This is the time that matters, and thank you for the for the world who is supporting. You know, we know where the right side of history is. We have been here before. We're not doing anything different from what actually, my gosh, my generation is still here. You were there in 1983 and 1986. So, courage on, defend press freedom, defend human rights. This is the time that matters.